Hello everybody, welcome back to the United Stand. I'm wearing my Sunday best. The Manchester United are Carabao Cup winners. He's dabbing. We've got the boys over there. There's no structure to this video at all. We're just going to go absolutely mental.
We sure are, we sure
Take it
are.
away.
What I would like to say, Jimmy Nail, Anton Deck, Cheryl Cole, Alan Shearer. Your boys took one hell of a beating this evening.
Come on!
Carabao Cup. Come on, man. This is the start of very good things at Manchester United under the Dutch bald wizard. I'm not being baldest. Do you know what I mean? If you got a bald head,
I might go bald. I might do it. I might go bald.
Yeah?
You know what? I'm actually going to put it out there.
You're looking very dapper.
If we win some form of treble this year, I'll shave my hair off.
Yeah.
You heard it first. I'll do it.
That means you are going to have to shave your head.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm getting the producer from here saying shake on it. So I'll shake on it with you guys because you're the ones.
There you go. That is a promise.
So,
that is a promise. You'll
my
have
arse
to do
just
it.
fell out a little bit there, but never mind. We'll make our way over anyway because we have got the guys.
Let's go.
We've got the guys. You know, I'll just make my little.
Come on, boys. Oh,
That's right, baby.
Yeah, man. Come on. Can't leave me hanging.
Here we go. Here we go.
The many
Here we
you
go.
love to see it.
How we doing? How we doing? How we doing, people?
We've seen it all. We've won the lot. Man United. We're never going to stop.
Oh my God!
This is the start of very good things.
Yeah, and you know what? You know why it was meant to be? Because look, we're all wearing green, and then obviously the host himself is looking very sharp.
This is it.
Yep.
This is
looking
it.
Very sharp.
I can't lie, guys. I'm thoroughly excited for today's fan forum. Obviously, when I found out that obviously Beth and Adam and the other guys were going, that I would be the host for this, I can't lie. Maybe probably a bit more nervous because. Not obviously, it's a big one if you win, it's a big one if you lose, but for the wrong reasons, right? But we've won, so screw everyone else. I don't actually care. We've won. But what do we think? First off, just overall performance. In my opinion, it wasn't the best, but we won. Who cares?
Yeah, I think you said it yourself, Usman. It doesn't matter about the performance. All that matters is really just get the job done, right? But the performance was actually in the second half. We always play better. But for me, the first half was a little bit shaky, and then the goal eased us off. You know, as part of the Vague Horse Defence League with yourself, Kev, not so much Usman.
Don't worry, we'll get into that.
We had some complaints, and then what does he do? He goes to set up a goal magnificently. And
Rude Van Workhorse.
Rude Van Workhorse, that's
Yeah,
the one.
that's the man.
Yeah, that's the one.
Did the business today.
All I'm gonna say, we all speak a common tongue, and that's, you know, we speak fluent trophy over here. Rivals want to be bitter, and I must say it's good to talk that language again.
I can't lie, guys. I was actually so nervous going into this game. I was sat at home and absolutely bricking it. So nervous to the point where I actually felt cold, inside. It was genuinely a little bit weird. But in all honesty, I'm buzzing. I'm so gassed. It's been coming though, hasn't it? The performances, the upward trajectory that we've seen constantly. Ever since the Batterins, wasn't it, the first two games of the season, it's only been up from there. Yes, there's been minor setbacks in a few of the results, like your City result, but and I feel like that Barcelona game previous to the final was a huge line in the sand that people say, isn't it? A turning point to prove that Manchester United are back, and that's the first topic I want to go to Usman about. Are Manchester United officially back?
I mean, listen, first things first, right? Barcelona, you lot can hold out, firstly. Regarding Newcastle, obviously that was lightweight as well. But look, at the end of the day, for me, until we go to the end of the season in the contention of a title race, then I will actually come in here with chest and say that we are back. But Manchester United is about winning trophies, and today we've done that. That's the most important thing. However, it's important for me now to see how the boys deal with that and how they actually go again. Look, we've got the FA Cup, we've got the League Cup, we're the only team in Europe fighting on all four fronts. And I need to see that sort of desire and that hunger to win trophies. What we'll say is actually we need to sign more players like Casemiro and Varane. I mean, they got that winning mentality, and these are the kind of players that made the difference in the dressing room for me personally. So, yeah, look, we're on the path without a shadow of a doubt, but a long way still to go for me personally.
That's actually a good point, to be fair. The Casemiro, the sheer class, Casemiro, Martinez, what these guys, even Varane, obviously, we knew Varane had it in him, right? It's just playing with certain players last season. He didn't have a very good injury record last season as well. But what these guys have brought to the team is second to none. It's outstanding. The passion, determination. I think Casemiro has only lost one final that isn't to do with his country. So club final, I think he's
I think it's 2 if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
is it 2? Okay, well, near enough.
Casemiro.
Yeah, what he brings to Manchester United, and there's people out there. What was it, 70 million for a 30-year-old? He's just turned 31. It's too much money. You know what? I'd double it. I'd triple it,
bargain.
and it's still a bargain, right, Kev?
Yeah. Today, it's quite an emotional day because it's one of them days where, if we lost it, you would have got some United fans saying, "Oh, it's only the Carabao Cup." This is a huge thing for this group of players as a collective to actually get over the line now. We were the nearly men under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to actually do this today. Again, it's not the most prestigious trophy, but the togetherness of this team, to see them actually win this trophy now together, I think it's a huge, huge thing. It really is massive for Manchester United. I said to my son at the final whistle, I said, this is lift-off. This is the start of very, very good things at Manchester United. We can build on this now. We've got a top manager. I'm going to shout out, actually, the guy that I just met in the pub. He's called Ricky, watches the United stand, not our Ricky. Somebody
not
else
Don Ricky, not Don Ricky.
He talked a bit of sense, actually, in comparison to our one. But he said we've got a manager and a coach together. So I was like, I like that. I dig that, man. A moach. That's what we've got. So if you're watching, mate, thanks for the pint as well he bought me. But listen, good times, isn't it? We have to build on this. You can look at it and go, well, what have City, Arsenal won? Nothing. We won the first piece of silverware of this season. And it is a springboard. We need to now use this to build on it as a group of players. A lot of these players have won big trophies, but at respective clubs like Varane, like Casemiro, but now at Manchester United, there's no stopping us. I really don't think so.
We should definitely go on and think, what can we win next?
There's no reason.
There's no reason. I know FA Cup's a long shot at the moment. That's the next game for us, right? So we can obviously go focus there. But when I'm thinking, what's the closest trophy next? For me, is Europa League. I think some European success. Yeah, it is because look, we got Varane and Casemiro.
Yeah,
they're leading us into games with monster mentality. We just beat pretty much the best opposition bar Arsenal in the Europa League. So why can we not go on and win that?
Yeah.
Another Spanish opposition. I don't see. Betis ain't exactly the greatest this season. Trust me, I watched a little bit of them as well. And they leak goals, and something we do is score minimum 2 goals these days, if anything.
Casemiro, right, was immense today. I've never seen somebody so wired into the zone as a player today.
Did you know what he did?
Of him was
at the end of the game, he literally. So the game's finished, we won. What does he do? He goes straight to Bruno like, why did you not pass? Why did you not pass? It's mental,
it is a mentality thing because he is a born winner, but he's almost like a heavyweight sort of boxer. Like when you go into the ring, this is a team sport, football, but when it's one-on-one, like let's say it's Tyson Fury against Wilder or whatever, it's having that mentality, but Casemiro seems to have that. It's almost like there was no chance that we were losing that game today when you've got a warrior like Casemiro, like Martinez, whoever it is. They were just all like, we are going home with this trophy this evening. And it's so refreshing. And do you know what? It sounds probably a bit arrogant or whatever, but us all here as Manchester United fans, whoever's watching now, we deserve this. After the years of shit that we put up with, under David Moyes, following the Sir Alex Ferguson days, all these signings, whatever, the Glazers, Edward Wood, everything that we've gone through, we deserve our day today to actually celebrate. And other football clubs will be looking at this now. I know rival fans, City, Liverpool, are looking at us now and going, if this lot get bought out now, and they've got money to spend as well, because we generate our own money, we're going to be unstoppable. We really are. We can build on from this.
What I've seen a lot on social media recently is people annoyed at how good Ten Hag is as well. In terms of, you always sometimes can fluke your way to certain trophies, and we haven't done that at all one bit. It has been, we're the only club left in every single competition, that's left. And the squad management that he's shown, the right substitutions that he's making in the right times. You know, even, and I know a lot of people will laugh at Harry Maguire coming on and stuff, but there is times when it calls for that, right? You're not going to do that at 1-0, but at 2-0 with 5 minutes left to go, you throw that extra body to win headers. Yeah, the first thing he did was get turned inside out, but who cares? He lifted the trophy, and a load of people are going to hate on that as well, the fact that he did lift the trophy, but, you know, who actually cares who lifts the trophy? They're all going to lift the trophy individually.
He is,
you know what I mean? Like,
he is the club captain.
Mental you say that, actually, because I went on my WhatsApp straight afterwards, and somebody did say to me, for this club, do you care that Harry Maguire lifts the trophy? I'm like, no. I speak fluent trophy. Don't you dare talk to me anymore. I'm on top right now.
But this is the thing as well, right? Like, he hasn't been a part of the team. It would be worse if he was part of the team, right? But he's not, and we're winning. Yes, he's the club captain. He probably won't be the club captain next season, right? Ten Hag, when he came in, admittedly, I was surprised that he didn't change it. But again, he probably doesn't want to rock the boat, rock the ship, whatever the saying is. So, at the end of the day,
everything this manager's doing at the minute, that's why I have 100% faith in him. You know, you look at the game against Leicester, you know, we weren't great. We could have been 2 or 3-0 down, but you just think he's going to make a change. Again against Barcelona, you know, the change at half-time, bringing on Antony, that injection of pace, and you just have total trust in him. It's not like, oh, what's he doing? You know, I wouldn't have done that. You just go along with it because the proof is in the pudding.
Well,
We've won the Carabao Cup.
For Wan-Bissaka substitution. We'll get onto it, but, you know, it's those little things that to viewers and people watching live at the ground, it seems so obvious, but that we haven't kind of experienced or had. You know, some managers bottled it. Some managers would play their favourites. Some managers, you know, the best managers, it doesn't matter what time, sacrifices have to be made. Garnacho in one of the games previously, he came on and came straight back off, didn't he? I think it was the one where, was it Casemiro got sent off? Yeah, like these things have to happen. Other managers would look at it and go, he's just come on, I feel sorry for him. No, like, yeah, it's shit for Garnacho, but, you know, there's a bigger picture here. I'll read some super chats out because otherwise I'll lose all of them. Remember when the pundits and media wanted Poch instead of Ten Hag? Where are they now? Says David the One. Jaron says, buzzing at home drunk with a takeaway. Consistency, love that. Eric has been cooking. He hasn't finished cooking either, is he? So I'm looking forward to what he has up his sleeve. Joshua says, having Fred on the pitch is scary. The lad lacks football IQ. Casemiro and Sabitzer seem very similar players. I hope he signs a permanent deal for us. Their combination will be deadly. Look, I don't actually think Fred played.
I think that's a harsh comment.
Yeah, I don't think Fred. And we're not here for negativity.
Yeah, exactly. We're not here for it. We don't need any of that tonight.
DJ John says, hi guys, glory, glory, Man United. I had my Casemiro jersey on for the game and I'm never taking it off. What Erik Ten Hag has done to his team is remarkable. What a manager. Love United, love you guys. If you're not going to take your Casemiro shirt off, I suggest you get in the shower with it because it will end up smelling. SK, literally doesn't matter what that Maguire lifted it. They shared it with Bruno, it's fine. No more player FC, play for the club and Erik Ten Hag. Let's see what we can do. It is scary what we might possibly be able to do. Nice look, Charlie. We like that here. GG Man United. Cheers, man. I've seen people trying to banter me off, but look, I'm here for it. I don't care. Look, Charlie rocking the suit. Got his Mad Men suit on. Yeah, I rate it. You know
what's mad with Maguire though? He did mention something about before the game. Everyone's got a role to play, and he makes everyone feel important. You know, so my manager 10 Quad is gonna be like, you know, he's doing craziness right now, and you've got to respect
10 Quad.
Well, yeah.
No, I like it.
It kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. 10 Quad. Yeah.
While you're at the top, you gotta use it, right? You gotta because you know. By next week, you know, things move very, very quickly in football, and
it's just impressive, Charlie. I'll be so honest. It's just every single player just looks like they're on board, no matter if they're playing or they're not playing. No one's kicking up a fuss, and I think that when he set that standard against Ronaldo, I think everybody there. Well, Bruno I think that was a bit of a change.
Bruno brought it out in his interview, didn't he? He said, you know, when he came in, he was very hard, but it would be interesting to see if he was going to be harsh on the big players. And he used Rashford as that example, didn't he, in the Wolves game where he put him on the bench for oversleeping. And it shows, like, no one... He is the boss, and that's what we've lacked for so long. There's not been the boss of everything. People have been able to get away with certain things because they're worth a lot of money, and he's come in and he's shaking everything up.
Hasn't he, in the past, when you look at stories like that, and it was almost called like Camp Carrington, these players were turning up. It didn't matter if they were 10 minutes late. It was just like, oh, you know, crack on or whatever. Now you've got a disciplined person in Erik ten Hag who is going to take no rubbish. You know, it's his way or the highway. The way that he's played out the Ronaldo thing, I think he's played an absolute blinder. You know, you could not keep a player like that at the club for morale. You can look down the routes of Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard, players like that as well. Players that have left this club. But Manchester United go on and remain. The spirit, everything. It's not toxic. You know, we get... Sometimes people are on about this channel and saying, oh, they're trying to stir stuff up. They're trying to say this, that. You know, this is good times at the minute, man. We're on the crest of a wave of positivity. And long may it continue. We enjoy it under Ten Hag.
I think a lot of jealousy does come into it, especially from rival fans. Look, having that medal round our necks now, the players, is going to be scary and frightening for what, you know, there's again that mentality shift. Yes, we've done it now. We know we can do it. They're going to be hungry for more. That, you know, Erik ten Hag isn't going to have players in the dressing room that's like content with just winning, as people will say, just the Carabao Cup. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Who cares if it was just the Carabao Cup? You're in the tournament. You want to win it. Otherwise, what's the point in entering? You wouldn't enter it. Yeah, it's scary.
And look at the past managers that have used this, like I say earlier on, a springboard. You know, it was Mourinho's first trophy at Chelsea.
Mourinho used to push for it all the time.
Yeah, and look at the success that Chelsea had, under Abramovich or whatever. Again, Pep Guardiola, it was his first trophy at Manchester City. You know, you use this as a springboard. And, you know, long may it continue, like I say.
But that's the difference. Obviously, I mentioned like Casemiro in particular. Obviously, Martinez has won trophies as well. Even obviously, people will look down upon them. But for me, that's the biggest difference in the dressing room. You've got people like Casemiro that have been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and these guys want to win trophies. I mean, the fact that he's celebrating a Carabao Cup like that, people will say, you know, he's won 5 Champions Leagues. Why has he still got that hunger and desire? If you're a younger player, or even a player that's won less trophies, and you're looking at someone like Casemiro, who's practically won everything in the game, and then Varane as well, who's got a World Cup as well to his name, and they're both celebrating this trophy. That is infectious.
It's a mentality thing, isn't it? It's getting that
rubs
into
off
the
on the
squad.
other players, and I think again Martinez has been a brilliant example of that. Obviously, not just his mentality in terms of winning every single bout on the pitch, but his attitude to the game as well is infectious. His passion. You saw even in today's game, you know, they're all high-fiving each other. You see Casemiro, Varane, chest pumping, etc. And that is infection. It runs through the team. We didn't see that last season. We didn't have that mentality that we're going to win this game regardless. And also, I want to just, you know, use an example in particular, which I thought, which is the most telling. Benzema the other day. Liverpool hold that, by the way. Benzema the other day, they're 2-0 down against Liverpool away from home. He's telling everybody to calm down. We're still in the game. Don't stress. And that is basically what we've inherited. We've got Casemiro, we've got Varane. They've both been there, done that, and they've had that experience with Real Madrid. And obviously you saw with Benzema in that example. But I suppose the other thing I would add is, if Real Madrid have got any other finished players, by all means feel free to send them through, because them two for me have completely transformed the dressing room.
It's hilarious to think that people said that Casemiro was finished,
but again,
and that United have overspent.
It is jealousy, but this goes for Martinez as well. Look, you look at it now, and hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I thought we overspent on Martinez, right? But again, you'd pay double that now for the player that we've got. If you knew what he was, you know, if someone said to you, he's going to be one, you know, he's going to have the best probably partnership in the Premier League. I'm staring at the pot with Varane, coming in, and we've paid. What do we pay for him? 50,
45,
yeah, something like that.
45
You'd go, all right, yeah, I'll pay 90. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's going to come in, absolutely transform, not him alone, but, you know, transform our team.
He's improving players, and that has been the major thing. It's the fact of. We talk about Wan-Bissaka being out in the cold not long ago. Even Dalot, do we need a new right back? All of a sudden, them two now are going at it for this right back player. But it doesn't matter. You bring Dalot off today, not a bother. Bring on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You know what you're going to get from him. Yes, Dalot was on a yellow card, and you kind of, you know, riding that kind of thing and looking at every single player that he's bought. Some would question Anthony and say for the money or whatever, but listen. Every other player.
That Barca goal, you know.
Oh, well, that was worth whatever we spent for him, yeah.
But just to add to the Dalot and Wan-Bissaka situation, I think that again is down to Ten Hag and the environment that he's created. Obviously, everyone is competitive and they're hungry for their spot, and also to come back to what you guys were saying earlier, there's no favourites in the team. Everyone knows they've got a right to that team if they apply themselves correctly. And that's how it should be. No player FC. I don't want to see this player FC nonsense constantly on the timeline. By all means, everyone's entitled to having their favourites. I get that. But at the end of the day, for me, it doesn't matter who's on the pitch. As long as they're applying themselves correctly and they're playing for the team and playing for the system, that's the only thing that matters. Just to add to the Weghorst thing, obviously, I've notoriously on this channel said on numerous occasions, I don't personally rate Weghorst that highly, but today, I've got to be honest, he played absolutely brilliantly for best part of 50, 60 minutes. I mean, I thought everyone was quite poor in the first 25 minutes, I'm not going to lie, but you know, after the Casemiro goal, I thought Weghorst was one of the better players on the pitch. He gets assists, he worked tirelessly, but he was a problem for them. They actually couldn't deal with him. He almost scored as well with that great effort, but that's what it's about. You pick those players for the system and for the opposition, and rightfully so. If it's Dalot or Wan-Bissaka, different games are going to suit different players, and I think Ten Hag has got that down to an absolute T at the moment.
Ruud van Weghorst hasn't been brought to Man United, right, to be a prolific striker. He's just...
That's where people get it twisted.
He's a cog in this kind of engine that actually keeps us going. And the build-up play for the Rashford goal today, to be able to hold that up, you know, it's clever. He's never going to be prolific. We know that. I've sat here before.
He almost scored a screamer, by the way.
God, he can't even run.
Pulled the save out of Carriers.
Do you know what? I keep saying it. He just needs a goal. But he doesn't strike me as the kind of player that's going to go on some mad kind of Haaland spree and start scoring every week. But he does bring something to the team, something we don't have. It's an area we need to address in the summer. But at this moment in time, I like what he brings to the party, to be honest.
Do you think them not having Nick Pope really affected them mentally as well? Like
they lost the battle before this match.
Yeah.
All over that.
Probably.
All that crap.
We owe a certain fan base a thank you. Liverpool Football Club fans, I'd like to say thank you very much.
Is it Dubravka?
Oh yeah.
He gets a winner's medal.
He gets a medal. I wonder if he ran on the pitch and did a John Terry.
Away the lads. Fair play to you, mate.
He just left the dressing room. He was like, "No, what? You lot more opinion. I've got to go and collect."
He gets a winner's medal.
In the wise words of Usman, you know, he said, "You may have won the Battle of Trafalgar Square, but we won the Battle of Wembley." You know, so there we go.
You love to see any quote.
You love to see it. Yeah.
David says we have a 0.816% chance of the quadruple, but a better chance with this winning mentality. Let's go grab what we can. Glory is back at United. But that's the thing. It's the exciting thing. Triggered Salt says Martinez, the reason Varane doesn't get recognition. It'd be interesting to see what you guys, when we get onto it later on about man of the match as well, to see. Who you guys pick. Thomas says, who is the best right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Dalot?
Wamby.
Do you think Wan-Bissaka
Honestly,
is the better right back?
I totally 100% think Wan-Bissaka is the better fullback. I get it. Dalot had a fantastic start to the season for us and he played every single match, but then he got injured and Wan-Bissaka had to step up and everyone thought this was going to be chaotic. You know, Captain Chaos, taking that away from Núñez. There you go, hand the baton. It didn't happen. That's why I think I was on here last time and I was talking about Wan-Bissaka as well, and like a credit to him and what he's done for the team recently, because I can't think of another fullback that can do what Wan-Bissaka does in the world. Yeah. You know, as soon as he came off of Dalot, St. Maximin didn't want it no more. And we actually created, 2-3 chances just from tackles alone off of St. Maximin because of Wan-Bissaka.
But that's a credit to Ten Hag as well.
Of course it is.
Yeah. We realistically, what we saw in Wan-Bissaka previously was all the defensive duties that he was more than capable enough of doing. But going forward, Dalot kind of shits all over him, doesn't he?
I don't think so.
No, he did though, right?
Oh, he did.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So what we've seen out of Wan-Bissaka in terms of going forward, he's almost adapted. Well, not just him, but whoever plays right back has adapted a new role, right? This inverted kind of fullback that we play now, and he's taken to it like a duck to water. And I think again, there's still obviously improvement in certain aspects, but again, that's the same for Casemiro, it's the same for Rashford. There's always improvement in certain areas, but we'll move on to Rashford actually. Obviously, the goal didn't go to him. I believe it did go down as an own goal.
Was it not on target, or am I tripping?
No,
I don't think so.
He hit it down into the floor. It looked like it was going a cross goal.
I think you meant to do it, to be fair.
Does he get an assist for that though?
It was just lovely to see Carriers. I was like, he should have saved that.
Yeah,
and then you'll get all the Geordies anyway going, oh, aye, man, you know, Nick Pope would have saved that. Yeah, but he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
Yeah,
don't get sent off then.
They'll have an asterisk next to this. It say Carabao Cup, Manchester United won it. But in brackets it'll say Nick Pope was suspended. You know, that's you get out of jail free card. Sound.
I mean, Karius should have probably done better for that goal. I think he's probably going down a little bit too early. Expecting, obviously, Rashford, the deflection not to happen. Of course, you're not expecting that. But Karius in his garden gloves couldn't keep it out of the back of the net. He looked like he was wearing gardening gloves in goal, didn't it? They were
He probably was. He's not played for that long.
Was
it 2 years since he played
a stat was the last first team appearance or first team start.
I feel like he was that Champions League game.
Was playing for Union Berlin, I believe, in
2 years ago.
2 years ago, so it's 2021. Yeah, absolutely mental. He must have been a bit like, a bit like.
Of course he was.
I thought he was their best player. I'm not going to lie. I mean, obviously Newcastle fans are going to complain about Pope and whatnot, but the truth of the matter is, you're lucky that we didn't have all our players as well. We've got people missing as well. Look,
Ericsson being
Phil
a key
Jones,
one.
he's not available.
Do you see he was part of the
I know exactly. They're lucky he wasn't on the pitch. No Van der Beek. Ericsson's not available. Martial's never available. But look, at the end of the day, what was he doing? I mean, he got sent off because he's an absolute idiot.
You even had Gary Lineker trying to fight his case for, let's just forget about it for this cup final, let him play.
And do you know what? That's when you know that Manchester United are back. Because when we were successful, right, the media and the agenda. I honestly, when I heard Gary Lineker on Match of the Day or whatever saying, come on, Nick Pope needs to play in the final. I'm like, he got sent off, right? I don't agree with that rule. I think it should be for that competition, but the same as Gameres, was sent off, missed 3 games, comes back in for this game. It should be specific to that competition.
Absolutely.
But ask me if I'm bothered. I'm not.
Well, what difference would you have made? Like, I mean, he might have picked the ball out of the net with his left hand, right hand. I don't know. Like, what was the difference really? He couldn't have saved the first goal. Second goal, potentially he might have saved it, but you didn't even lay a glove.
There'd have been a bit more time wasting.
I mean, they barely laid a glove on us. Obviously, we've spoken about Wan-Bissaka. I mean, Saint Maximin got absolutely pocketed to the point that he was begging the managers to drag him off. I mean, they couldn't do anything anyways.
When Maximin and Guimaraes both went off, then I was like,
yes.
All right, I think we've won this game. And I was so surprised. I think Bruno Guimaraes came off limping a little bit. Maybe, obviously, that was a forced change. But when that happened, I thought Maximin was their most creative forward-going, attacking-wise, quite clearly. Yes, he wasn't. He turned Dalot inside out in the first half, didn't he?
Twice.
But Dalot, as soon as you get that yellow card after 9 minutes, it's always going to be a tough day. You're always then second guessing. You can't necessarily go and get touch tight, especially with what VAR offers as well. Fred, obviously, question marks. That's another asterisk. Fred should have got sent off. No, the other guy just kicked into his foot. It's never a second yellow, in my opinion.
When should he got sent off?
That's what I'm kind of baffled about.
I don't remember.
No, so he already was booked, and there was a instance. I want to say it was Joelinton. The ball was being contested, and Fred has kicked the ball away, and just his foot's like dangling a 50-50, and Joelinton's kicked the bottom of his foot. I think it was Joelinton, or maybe it was Sean Longstaff, and then has rolled on the floor. And I've seen a couple of people on social media being like, it should have been a red card or questionable, But it's. They'll say that now that it's they've lost the game.
They can dry their tears with the non-existent trophies. How about that? I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's all semantics, isn't it? Pope's not playing X, Y, and Z. I mean, the referee booking Dalot in a final in 9 minutes, so they're not going to mention that. That's absolutely embarrassing.
And more than that. How many players got booked in the first half?
All of our players constantly. Like, they were getting away with loads of fouls and they're not getting booked. If we're going to bring the referee into it, let's at least be realistic. But regarding tiers, I mean, the rival fans are saying it's not a prestigious trophy, and we've kind of alluded to that as well. For me personally, this is a catalyst. I mean, we've seen it with Jose Mourinho time and time again. At the end of the day, rival fans can cry as much as they want. This is going to be the springboard, as you already said.
It's all right for Man City when they won it 4 or 5 years in a row. You're not telling me that they were all at Wembley going, all right, yeah, we've won the Carabao Cup. You celebrate it. It's a trophy.
You've got to also remember, like, the difference between us and Liverpool is that we don't do a parade for these trophies. Do you know what I mean? We're kind of used to.
Yeah, because they're small time.
Or making DVDs on finals like a certain other club.
I mean, certain other clubs just make DVDs about getting to finals. But look, end of the day, they can crowd up on about the semantics and stuff. Fred should not have been sent off. I mean, Sabitzer came on and it was absolutely fantastic as well.
Oh yeah, talk about the doubts of Sabitzer when he came on. That was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get onto that in a little bit. DJ John says, I actually wasn't nervous for this final. We beat Barca before. I mean, who will compare Barca with Newcastle? Now, man, grow, Man United. I mean, fair point, but when it's a final, you know, you could play...
You're still a bit nervous, but I must admit, when I went into this, I know by looking through the United Stand group chat that nobody had Newcastle to win, nobody had a draw, everybody had United to win.
Almost makes me a little bit more nervous when that
happens.
And
I think that's what it was. It's this overconfidence, and I'm like,
definitely.
stay in your lane, Kev, you know, this is Man United. But the thing is, we've got Erik ten Hag in charge, and I just think, do you know what? If it's half-time and it's 0-0 or whatever, this guy knows what he's doing. He'll change something, he'll tweak something, whether he swaps wingers on a different... He just knows what he's doing, and it makes it so much better. It's not like going into a Europa League final
hoping for the best.
under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where you were like, God, this is too tough to call. You know, we took the game to them today. And Newcastle had a great spell, 10, 15 minutes into that game, where you looked and thought, oh, right, OK. You know, they've laid a few gloves on us or whatever, but then once we scored the goal, it just completely flipped the game. And I knew, I said it to my son Georgie before it. I said, if we get the first goal in this game, they will bottle it. And this is Newcastle all over. There's a reason, 60 odd years since they win a trophy. The last time they played in a final was 99 against us, and they bottled it that day. And they lost 2-0 as well. That was like a convincing what was it? Sheringham and who else scored that day?
I was 2 years old, so I can't tell you.
Was it? 2 years old?
Yeah.
Jeez, that makes me feel
Jeezy
old.
peeps, man.
Yeah, I was
Jeezy peeps,
I was 3 years old. Now, you know what? There's this reluctancy to call for Fred. There's the reluctancy to give him some respect. Because I get it, like, you don't know what Fred you're going to get more time. You might get Fred from Stockport, or you actually might get Fred from the favelas in Brazil or something like that, right? So, for me, I think people need to start putting some respect on his name, 100%, because he is, if anything, when it comes to big games, the man you can rely on is Fred.
I mean, there's again, it's credit to Ten Hag again, isn't it? You know, I mean, again, you're playing in different systems, and certain players suit different systems, etc. But Ten Hag, and it's not just Ten Hag, obviously the coaches that obviously he has brought in as well have just brought out this different shift in mentality, in passion. I mean, Fred before Ten Hag was, again, inconsistent. Sometimes he would drop a 10 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10. You can still get that from him, but it's almost less often. You're going 2 or 3 steps forward with him, and then he might drop a clanger. Whereas it was 1 step forward, 2 steps back with Fred previously.
The coaching thing is a main thing, and at the risk of repeating myself, I said it a couple of shows ago, whenever it was. I've said about Mitchell van der Gaag. You've got Steve McLaren even. I remember Steve McLaren when he was at United in the 99 season. And you listen to any of them players that played under Sir Alex Ferguson and Steve McLaren, said that Steve McLaren come up and was pretty much revolutionary in all his training tactics, everything that was done on the training pitch. And the proof is there, isn't it? You know, Manchester United won the treble in 99. He was a major part of that, Steve McLaren.
What are you trying to say?
Are we going to win the treble again?
Quadruple this season.
People were laughing at us when he came in as well, weren't they?
Yeah,
People were
the Wally the Brolly, you know, he's stuck with that kind of thing, but...
The fact that they had to... Erik ten Hag had to literally battle with the Glazers and the uppers, or Richard Arnold and so forth, for him to come in as another assistant, says everything as well, what you need to know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's well, I mean, we won't obviously get into the
we'll be all night.
We'll be here all night.
Strictly positives.
Yeah.
Come on, waiting for you to show the badge as well, by the way.
The badge.
Yeah, there's been
there we go.
There's been a few
That's what we want.
a few comments saying get the badge in. Go on, swivel your chair to get the badge in. That's what they've been saying. Please send Kev my appreciation. Cheeky dab for the win. He obviously didn't see you at the start of the show. Just wants you to.
I did it earlier. I'll do it again.
There's another one. Where's the next one? Ryan says, the difference now, we have a manager who knows how to win. Impressed with the defensive performance. Get this manager tied down to a longer deal. What is the deal with Ten Hag? He must be on like a 5-year deal or something, right?
I hope so.
He must be. I'm not sure if we can get that confirmed in my ear, but... did anyone? I'm excited to see if Ten Hag and Martinez do this dance that they did. Did you see when they done it?
Yeah.
They done it at Ajax. Have they done it here?
They did it today.
Did they?
Yeah,
it was actually
Anthony
class.
joined in as well.
It was class.
It was
what
actually
they did.
quality as well. Right in front of the Man United fans as well.
Yeah, they did a little dance at Ajax with. I don't know what trophy it was they won, but I was excited to obviously see it bring over. But obviously Luke Shaw assist, incredible set piece. I'm pretty sure set pieces are very hit and miss at United in terms of.
I tell you one thing that's going to be the end of me is VAR. It really is. Casemiro scores that goal, right? We were all going ballistic, like, watching it.
Yeah.
And then you've celebrated for about a minute, you're like, and the heart rate goes down, and then all of a sudden the thing goes up like VAR, and I'm thinking,
they need to. It's absolutely poor, the communication between referees and the association and fans itself.
Just quickly, it was actually the Tottenham Chelsea game. He gave Ziyech a red card and then checked the monitor. It was like no one knew what was going on and then overturned it. I don't know if he had to.
Surely someone in your ear could just tell you, that's not a red card, and we've all agreed on it.
Yeah,
it's that theatre. I don't know whether they're trying to actually create that, but in a final today, you've celebrated for a minute. Casemiro's run the whole length of the Wembley, done 5 laps of it, celebrated.
Had to buy your versus Arsenal.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we're going to check it here. And then I remember everybody's there just watching the screen and we're getting ready for the lines to be drawn on the pitch. And then it just went down and then there's another, it's like you get to celebrate again.
It was
You're
tight
like,
though.
Oh,
but
God.
listen, you get to enjoy it twice. But regarding Luke Shaw, honest to God, like his delivery from wider has been sensational. But from set pieces, it's kind of been inconsistent, if I'm being quite honest with you. But when it mattered, he delivered, and what a header that was! Yeah. That was a 5 Champions League winner header. That I want this goal. I want to score this, and that's the difference.
Luke Shaw's probably got the best delivery in the whole club.
To be fair, Luke Shaw technically is probably one of our better players. I know a lot of people probably won't agree with that. But
this seat possesses people. With the Luke Shaw
Ricky loves Luke Shaw.
But Luke Shaw player in the world. Player in the world.
Not obviously, it's not called Roberto Carlos for no reason. But listen, for me, his technique is absolutely out of this world for me personally. I mean, we need to get him sometimes more involved in the game in general. I just think sometimes Rashford potentially doesn't use him as much. But look, overall, I'm not going to sit and say it was his best performance, but when it mattered, he delivered, and Casemiro made no mistake about it.
Was solid. What are you on about?
Brought the trophy back.
Shaw was solid. I didn't see anything really come from there.
The defensive is solid. I'm talking about going forward.
I think that will come though, because remember, Ten Hag's had to tweak his tactics to suit what he's got at the moment of time. I mean, usually he would play further up the pitch, but he just don't have the players to do so yet. I think we'll see more of that next season, to be fair.
And that is a positive, right? We've won a trophy with the majority of players. Look, we're not going to change the whole team, but majority of players that Ten Hag might not even be interested in working with next summer, right? Maybe some of them have changed like his mind, and he will want to work with them. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka was probably one of them. That the majority of United fans would have been happy to see, his backside walking out the door. That's completely changed now, right? Yeah. And that's probably changed the exact same for Erik ten Hag. I will read the super chat because I missed it and I'm getting hounded by Big John in the chat. All of them combined 11s that picked Botman over Varane. Apologies as loud as the disrespect, please. Also, Casemiro is a Ballon d'Or contender.
Wow.
I mean, if he wins more than 1 trophy this season, and
if he wins a lot,
even finishes second, I mean...
No, I don't.
No, you have to be in the Champions League to get Ballon d'Or.
I don't think it's. Well, I mean, a defensive midfielder.
Team of the year.
I mean, there's look. Nothing's kind of out of the question in regards to the possibilities of Manchester United at the minute. It's all brilliant. Fan connection is what I want to talk about. Obviously, we spoke about mentality shifts, all this, but the player-fan connection is back. You can see it. I've been to quite a few games this season. Even when we haven't played well, I haven't actually been to it. Actually, the only game I went to which we lost was Sociedad in the group stage, so that bullshit handball penalty that we gave against Martinez. But even then, there's this connection that's just been building. The players are likeable. They say never fall in love with a loan signing. Weghorst is a fan favourite. He hasn't scored. He scored 1 goal, which was in a cup game. But people love him. There was pictures at the end. He was. Knelt down, just taking in like, the fan appreciation and stuff.
Reminds me a bit of like a Diego Forlan kind of character, What did he go like 20 odd games without scoring a goal? Yeah. But the fans still loved him. At that time, there was nobody like going, oh, he's rubbish, get him out of the team, and that they could see. And I remember the goal at Old Trafford. I was there that day. It was like 20 odd games he went without scoring, and then scored this goal, and it was like unbelievable. Yeah. It's the same for Weghorst. That's why today I was praying that he got on the score sheet today. I thought this. But listen, he's got an assist. It's very important.
Well, you talk about Forlan, he's always got Liverpool to score against next week. Yeah. I'm just saying. Good time.
That'll be a great time
he's pulling up with assists, right? As well. It's not. He is creating, and he's and this is what we've got to remember, he was brought in as Martial's backup, right? That was explicitly what he was going to be. And he's had to play, he's played more minutes this season than Martial now, and he's been here just over a month. And he's probably less than a month, actually. I'm not sure on the time frame, but he's been here for that amount of time. He's had to play every single game, pretty much, and he's had to play in 10 as well, which wasn't asked of him originally, I imagine, when he first came in.
That's why you have to admire it. You have to admire that. There's no spitting the dummy out. There's no complaining, going, I'm not a number 9. I'm not a number 10. What am I playing in here? He's just done his job. Literally, at the risk of sounding like Roy Keane, but he's just getting on with it. He's just doing his job. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, you probably can't believe his luck, though. Like, obviously, you mentioned the moment that he sat there, and as a fan, that's what you love to see, players that generally means the world to them. I think that's the most important thing. And I think that's why you can kind of connect with these players. In particular, I suppose you guys use Weghorst, but you could probably make a case for any player in that team. Like, the one thing that you can't dispute is every single player is playing for each other. And I think that's something that we've not had for many years. And I think that's the biggest change with Ten Hag. Obviously, after the first 2 losses, he basically ran with the players in training. And I think since that moment, the players have been fighting tooth and nail for the badge, and I think that's the most important thing as a fan when you go to games in particular, or even watching the game at home. That's your bread and butter. You've got to be willing to do everything you can within your power to obviously make effort first and foremost. That obviously we're praising Weghorst for that, but for me that's your bread and butter as a player. Obviously, that as a fan you want to see that, but at the same time that's what the fans love. I mean, if you see a player that's giving his all, you're always going to show them love, which is why Weghorst, as you said, has become somewhat of a fan favourite. But players like Martinez and players like Casemiro, for me, I keep mentioning them names, but I genuinely think they have turned the tide within this club. And if Ten Hag can get a couple of more of his players in, we're looking at a team that can challenge for the league next season. I genuinely believe that. I mean, if you actually look at all the players that he's brought in and the impact they have had in the dressing room, with the obviously bringing the fans closer to the players, but the impact they've had on the team in general, we're only talking at 4 players realistically. If he gets another 3-4 of his players in, it's only going to go up. So for me, absolutely fantastic to see that the players are actually showing that sort of compassion to the fans, but at the same time, it's good to see that they're fighting for each other as well on the pitch.
It's huge, it's huge. DJ John again with the super chat, thank you very much. He's brought up a good point which we can elaborate on. Rashford wasn't 100% today. What do you think? Now, obviously there was speculation over whether Rashford was even going to be available, right? He was kind of videoed hobbling away from the previous game after Barcelona. And there was question marks. So when he, I mean, look, he's kind of came out, didn't he, and said that he's played through injury for many, many years. A lot happens and a lot goes on behind the scenes until players get injections, these steroid injections, so they can play. Kind of takes the edge off the pain, etc. So in that instance, I thought he's probably played through worse, so he probably will play. But what do we? I mean, he's scored, didn't he? He did. It's obviously not given to him, but he scored. The classic celebration, obviously, one of these ones. Yeah, one of these ones. But no, I mean, he's basically asking, what do we think? If he wasn't 100%, was he 100%?
The form that he's in, you cannot not play him in a game like that, a one-off game. You have to look at it and think this lad is absolutely on fire at the minute. Call the fire brigade to put him out. He's
don't put him out.
He's just in red hot form. Even 50% Rashford is still a bonus because it's the confidence thing. When you see him in a game against Leicester where he goes in one-on-one with the keeper, you know what's happening. There's not a doubt in your mind.
It's inevitable, right?
You know what's coming next, and you can't do anything about it.
He does look tired, though.
Yeah, I was about to say,
he got to the 65th, 70th minute, and for me, he's just looked gassed out, I'll be so honest. And I think there's a perfect time to rest him now. It's against West Ham. Let him have a breather because we've got a big game on Sunday.
The thing is, and as much as to some degree I obviously do agree with you, and that doesn't just go for Rashford, certain players will need rest. He's rested Varane for big games like the Barcelona, etc. But I don't think that Rashford will want a rest himself. Do you know what I mean?
Charlie, but that's where management comes in. I mean, for me,
of course, but
you can't play players like that through injury.
People are going to be hungry. After today, I guarantee the likes of Sancho, Garnacho, people that didn't play Victor Lindelof, everyone will be right now. I want to win this trophy now. I need to be the
They all
reason
want a big
why I
part
need to
of
be
it.
in the final. Like,
Absolutely.
So I'd like to think that they will be hungry for this game against
Of
West
course,
Ham.
but what we've seen as well, he doesn't bring people in for the sake of it, does he?
Nah.
He's not one to give opportunities. You make your own opportunities. It's not like previous managers which we've seen. He's, when it comes to a cup game, it's let's stick 8 players that haven't played in ages.
Yeah, it's not a
for the sake
gesture.
of
It's
it.
not like, I spent 80 million on
yeah.
him, I'll have to play him today.
It is.
Well, you say
it's-
that's interesting, but like you said about the Varane, against Leeds away, he sticks Maguire in there. Then against who was it, Leicester, he sticks Lindelof in there, if I'm correct. Was it Leicester?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
it was.
yeah.
Against Leicester, he stuck Lindelof in there. Eric Ten Hag is a bald wizard. And,
Yeah, of course. But
it's a genius.
again,
He's on it now. He's
These
on it.
guys evidently deserve the opportunity, right? I mean, basically, what I'm getting at with the Rashford thing, and we've got another super chat here to go in on Sancho. I mean, we're not even going to really speak about it, but D-Train just says, GGMU, should we chat about Sancho? He's done. Again, no negativity. Even if we had a bad word to say about him, we're not going to say it.
Down
Because
with
we
that
just won the
kind of thing.
just won a trophy.
What more do you want from the guy? Yes, he
Came
didn't
off
have the
for
great. He
9
didn't have the
minutes.
great. He had a great performance against Leicester. Yes, he didn't have a great impact.
He hasn't played in 18 games or whatever it was.
Exactly, and he didn't have a great game
What's
against
his name?
Barcelona.
Who's put that super chat?
Oh, D-Train, I
And
think.
if I'm correct, he
Just
played.
enjoy your evening. For God's sake,
Listen, we
man.
won a trophy, mate. We won a trophy. Carabao Cup champions.
Don't carry on about Sancho, man.
You get a word in there, Drizzy.
Yeah. No, how long did
sorry.
he play for today? About 15 minutes.
9 minutes.
Who cares? We
Nine
won.
minutes.
He got subbed on the
9 minutes, done a job. If I'm correct, he actually put Sabitzer in that, who Sabitzer then
And he should
therefore.
have, you know what, Bruno should have passed
And
him.
passed it to him at back post, whether he was offside or not. Questions, he maybe should have held his run, but we will never know. And we just won a cup, so I don't think Sancho is the
Listen,
issue. The
who
fact that we got
cares,
someone
man?
like Sancho to come on and do something is crazy.
Even if there is a debate for Sancho to be done, people want Sancho out. Now is not the time to be having that debate.
Enjoy it. No.
After what, 2 hours or an hour or whatever ago, we're lifting the Carabao Cup trophy.
Yeah.
Everyone's just go, well, we won, but Sancho's shit. No, no, we've won. So you carry on. You know,
He's probably a rival fan, to be fair.
Well, I mean, possibly, but what does it matter to them whether he's done or not?
Because they're salty, mate. They can't hack Man United winning trophies before them. Simple as.
Possibly.
But listen, just to come back on the Rashford thing, like for me personally, if I'm Ten Hag, I'm 100% not playing him against West Ham. I think, look, he's going to be wanting to play. We know what he's like. But we have to learn from the lessons in the past. And then under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in particular, not to criticise him too much, but he had a knack of overplaying players. And if you remember that one season, I think Bruno's and Rashford's statistics were absolutely fantastic. But towards the back end of the season, both of them were completely dead on their feet. They were completely burnt out. And it's important that we avoid that if we get the opportunity. Of course, it's extremely difficult at the moment because the games are coming thick and fast. And every game is extremely important, especially in this part of the season. But for me, this West Ham game, I'm not saying throw it because obviously, we're trying to win the quad, etc. But
You'd have one eye on Liverpool, wouldn't you?
yeah, no, exactly. I think it's important that, he does put trust in players like that. Obviously, Rashford, put him on the bench. If we need him, bring him on for 45 minutes, 30, 40, whatever minutes we need him for. But I think Sancho is more than capable of playing on the left wing. Antony on the right, Bruno up top, Bruno and Cam, and obviously Weghorst up top. I don't think that would be an issue against West Ham. I know that.
Marcelo might get a game. He should be back in team training on Mondays, if I'm correct. So he might even have a game. There's options. The best part, we've got options. Fred might be knackered. Sabitzer's there, he's fresh. Bruno's got. If anyone's going to play, mainly, I guarantee Bruno plays. He loves playing. He just wants. That guy doesn't know when to stop. Well, fair enough.
There's that quote he said when he was younger. He used to play for 7-8 hours a day. So to play 2 games of football every 3 days isn't enough. He was like, for 90 minutes as well. He was like, it's not.
Have you seen Bruno's injury record? He's only missed 2 games in his entire career, and it was both for illness.
Yeah,
sorry, I do apologise. No one clipped this. It just came just now.
Wait, what was that?
He's only missed 2 games
because
in his.
Because of what?
Bruno Fernandes has only missed 2 games in his entire career, and both were 2 illness. He hasn't been injured and missed a game, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's incredible. Do you remember? Was it under Ollie when he came off one time and he had that like milk drink? Do you reckon it's because of that? It's like pink milk or something in it that he drinks, or some special. Maybe it's some special serum.
I could do with that. When I ran for the train today, I was knackered. I guess how long I ran? 30 seconds.
Pulled a hammy. Regan says, got to rest Rashford before Liverpool, in my opinion, and that is what we're about, all opinions. Have you seen Piers Morgan's tweets? That man is saltier than the Dead Sea. Congrats to all supporters for the trophy. It's
What's
been
he
a long
tweeted?
time.
Oh, is he just
I'm not a clue,
up
actually.
Ronaldo's ass as usual?
I'll have a look. I'll get it up and see.
I mean, it probably was Ronaldo's bag hat-trick, blah, blah, blah.
See what he has
here
to
we
say.
go.
See what you... Can't believe I'm watching a Man United manager and players dancing with joy after winning the Carabao Cup. So embarrassing. And it is that video of him, Anthony.
He wants to talk about managers when his manager in Arteta was the one that went to
The
training.
most animated manager in
Come
the
on,
Premier
guys,
League.
we need to win this game, guys. Every 2 seconds. Wants to stick on Anfield music during training, just get spanked at
4-0.
4-0 at Anfield.
Yeah.
Don't talk about antics about my manager.
He was a very heavily supporter of the Arteta out movement as well. So
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Absolute
That literally
clown.
says
Not
enough.
anymore. Go watch his other tweets about Arteta of him being wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I gave him the
I was about to say, Piers
Oh.
Morgan aside, can we just talk about our midfield at the moment? Like, what is everyone's thoughts on the current situation? Because obviously, you lot are praising Fred to the hills, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't want Fred to start. I actually thought, look, obviously it was easier for Sabitzer because the game was stretched. Don't get me wrong, and
At that
Fred
stage.
definitely provides a great deal to this team. Make no mistake about it. But I just think in games against like West Ham, for example, and teams that we should dominate, Sabitzer is a better option against Casemiro. You saw when Sabitzer came on, you know, that slide tackle and potential assist aside, his overall play and composure on the ball just allows us to control games. And I think with Ten Hag and the way he wants us to play, he wants us to control games, man. I just don't feel like, I don't know what you lot thought today, because I just don't, we were in control of the game for moments, but not as much as I would personally like, hence why I think Sabitzer needs to start to get embedded into the team sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think he will start against West Ham, 100%. There's no reason why he shouldn't. I think he'll rest Varane again, bar the midfield, and I think he will stick with Casemiro because he's only just come back. That's his third game in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, if I'm correct. 3 games in 2 weeks. So we should be strong enough to go against West Ham. You know what this maniac's like. You know, he's going to play a strong team, whether we like it or not. He wants it all. I mean, we want to win the lot. Again.
We've seen it all. We've won the lot.
This is a quote, you're all going to love this, from Ten Hag. This is the club for me. I love Manchester United.
Give him
how
a
heartwarming is
50-year
that?
contract.
My manager.
What's the Rio Ferdinand? Sign the dotted line. Give him what he wants.
Yeah,
That is it. Oh,
Just not anything at the will, please.
No, none of that. Some more super chats. DJ John, again, he loves it. Cup winners today beat Liverpool tomorrow. Who's Liverpool tomorrow? Guy, okay, this is an interesting one. Guy, we won lovely. London and Manchester are red.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, I guess.
I think you missed some commas. Guys, we won. Lovely. Manchester. Then obviously another comma. Manchester is red. There you go.
there's people coming in the chat that are absolutely fuming. Mickey Mouse Cup champions. Love it. Drink it in.
At least I got one.
Yeah, at least. But we've not got.
You try telling any Newcastle fan today now that's probably got the top off, big gut out, whatever they usually do with
Did you see him? The guy
MUFC
with
on the front,
Yeah,
drawn on the bellies, going home like crying because they've just lost this cup final, that the Carabao Cup doesn't mean anything.
No,
they would have done anything to win that trophy
They won the Trafalgar Square
They won
Cup.
the Trafalgar
Oh, of course they
Square
did.
battle.
Yeah.
And they also won the social media battle because they had more fans at Wembley Way on the prior to the game.
Yeah, and
Which
they
was a
all
total
waved
lie, by the
flags
way.
before the game. Did you
Yeah,
see
we
all
was
that?
actually thinking
Brilliant.
about the environment. We actually got scarves, you know,
Exactly,
for
yeah.
our fans. You know, don't do plastic flags anymore.
Limited
Thanks.
edition scarves.
Limited edition.
Enjoy that
Yeah.
8-hour trip back,
Yeah.
that's what I would say, mate. Cheers,
How
mate.
are you, the lads?
Yeah,
Come
Regan
to
says,
Why
FYI,
am I?
Wout Weghorst has more trophies than Harry Kane.
And on that note, we will see you in the next video.
Serial winner. Serial winner, Wego.
Wow.
Whoever that was that made that comment, thank you very much, because I am going to absolutely slaughter the rival fans.
That's a tweet.
That's beautiful. Thank
Yeah.
you. I
Terry
needed that.
Tibbs would
That's,
say, beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good one. We haven't got long left, but we'll go on to man of the matches because I'm intrigued. I think there's a few players up for debate. I don't think it's quite, an obvious thing that this guy's man of the match. I think there's going to be some discussion. Usman, who would you? Yeah, we'll work our way down. Who do you think is your man of the match?
Why are you looking at me for?
Because I know we're going to say the same player. So,
Are we really?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to just go with the obvious one. It has to be Casemiro. I mean, the goal aside, is absolutely sensational. I mean, look, one thing that you need to realize in these moments and in these games, it's all about mentality. Can you deal with the pressure? And I thought for me, the way we started the game, I've got to be honest, I thought Newcastle started the game a lot better. I mean, they looked a lot more collected on the ball. They looked composed on the ball. And I think that's where players like Casemiro come to the fore. You know, they calm the players down. You know, they show their leadership. And he absolutely did that. I mean, he's a leader basically without the armband. His goal was absolutely ridiculous. He wanted that goal. Obviously, you know, he wanted the trophy. That's what it's about. But his overall performance for me, his leadership and his mentality got us over the line. It wasn't a vintage Man United performance, but the guy dug in deep and he dragged the team through. And I think that's what it's about, really.
Kev?
Well said, man. I was going to do it in the form of like a song. I was going to do the Casemiro song, but I've got to go with that.
No, I was about to go for it.
He's Casemiro. He's our Brazilian hero in the red and the white. He's gonna be strong and he's gonna be fast and he's gonna make City look shite. Have that one.
Yeah. Hey. Love it, love it. You going to make it 3 out of 3?
You know what? You can't beat that, can you? Yeah, it's. I'm gonna make it interesting. I'm gonna say Varane.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to be quirky and different. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
I just want to be a pick me, basically. So
What's your reasoning?
I was about to
I just thought he dealt with everything in there. Defensively, Varane was mint for me. Everything that got in the box, he was the one first there header. If not, it was obviously Lisandro Martinez.
Do you know the great thing at the minute?
He was commanding the back line differently.
There seems to be a running trend of you could pick Luke Shaw, you could pick Casemiro, Varane, Martinez, and this is every single game we're playing at the minute. It's just brilliant, and it's not one standout player. You're getting more or less six or 5 or 6 like really, really good performances from a team. It makes such a huge difference.
Why I'm going to pick Varane, because I just don't want to go with a cliche stuff, because you just took it from me, Usman. Thank you. You got my notes. You got my notes and you read that out perfectly.
Yeah, but I was going to ask you, do you think Varane's the best centre-back in the league now? What are your thoughts? Where would you rank him and Martinez? Because obviously you said right at the start that they're the best partnership. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
He's top 2, but he's not number 2.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah,
now I'm going to say Varane just to make it a little bit more interesting. I think Casemiro is probably the obvious choice, so I'll go for that because in the first 20-25 minutes, who was there to literally clear up everything? Same Maximum and Delo wasn't there. It was Varane. So I'll just give it to Varane because I just thought he was brilliant. And sometimes defensive work, just because you got a goal and everything goes unnoticed.
A lot of people in the chat saying, obviously Casemiro. A lot of Martinez shouts in there as well. A few David De Gea's in there as well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, man of the match, changed the game.
That's obviously not Beth saying David De Gea.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, I wonder what. Obviously, there's going to be
doing his job.
There's going to be some obviously fan vlogs I imagine coming out. So it'll be interesting to see what them guys say in regards to man of the match. But me personally.
Come on, Charlie.
Just take it.
Give it us.
Go on, Charlie.
I think there's only one man, and his name's Wout Weghorst. He's getting man of the match, not because he deserves it, but because he is my favourite player at Manchester United right now.
Okay, that's different.
So the whole conversation about managers...
He's fuming.
No, I am part of the Ruud van Veghorst.
Have I caught?
No, I have to go back because he was like, it's not about managers picking their favourites or picking
I'm
this
not the
or
manager.
that. You're
Exactly, he's a fan.
Yeah, I know. You think it was actually Veghorst?
You look like a manager this evening.
No, I don't think it's actually Weghorst, but I'm just, there's interaction going on with the chat. It'll get people typing in, no, we're not Weghorst. Get people nibbling on that,
Because I'll change it to Veghorst if you want. Just make it 2-2 and let the chat decide.
Right, I'm changing mine.
There you go.
I thought Scott McTominay was brilliant when he was on today.
Yeah.
He won us
he's got a future as a number 9, you know.
Someone's got to say Luke Shaw.
He can play anywhere, that lad. He's that good.
Someone's got to say Luke Shaw just because of, obviously, Ricky's not here. So if you just give a Luke Shaw,
the best player in the world?
Ask me again.
Yeah, so
I'm telling you, he's the best player in the world. You're not listening to me.
Well, he is the best left back currently in the world.
Oh,
no,
mate,
the best player in the world.
Yeah,
best player.
Well,
best player.
I mean, it's without
actually, no,
shadow of a doubt.
he's
I
up
think
there.
Messi watches videos
On
of
form,
Luke Shaw, to be honest.
I mean, there's no doubt that Luke Shaw is questionably the best left back in the league world, whatever you want to go out there. But the main thing is that we've just won the Carabao Cup.
Champions.
We've got
Newcastle. You'll never sing that.
Yeah. We've got we just played Newcastle. We've got West Ham midweek in the 5th round. Is it the 5th round?
Yeah.
Of the FA Cup? Which then, if we win, we play the quarterfinals, and then if we get through that, we're straight back to Wembley at the semis, aren't we? So it's not too far. We might make Wembley another fortress, another stomping ground. Go out there, get the FA
it's like
Cup.
our second home now, isn't it?
But I don't know in terms of fixtures when the Europa League game, obviously against Real Betis, is going to be played.
9th of March?
I'm not aware, but
Rings a bell.
It'll come around quick, won't it? It won't be.
Another double either way, mate.
Okay, so the first fixture is the 9th of March and the return leg is the 16th, I think it was. So yeah, the game's coming around thick and fast, guys. I mean, what's not to look forward to?
You know what's mad? It's just the February, the whole Feb fixture list and how we've been told
Was it
by
10
many,
games? 10
loads of games, and we came out
Crazy.
with, I think, a loss against Arsenal, I believe, if it was out this month, 2 draws, and the rest of wins, and obviously a cup. Bite your hand off, you said that.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
It's just phenomenal. I almost like I feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over again. Like, you know, it's phenomenal, it's this and that, but it like there's what other words is there? There's no point sugarcoating it. Like, it genuinely is unbelievable what Ten Hag has been able to do in an 8-month spell since he came in, or whenever it was.
7 or 8 months.
Yeah, like, you know, you think back to those first 2 games against Brentford and Brighton, absolutely embarrassing. And I'm going to say no one would have us in this position, would have said we'd be in this position we are right now, going off of the back of those 2 games.
If you'd have said that after them 2 defeats start of the season, if you'd have said, right, come what we're in now, February, come February, you're going to win the Carabao Cup, you're going to be 3rd in the league behind, say, City and whatever. Honestly, people, they would have rang up the mental institute or the local one and said that somebody had broken out here, you need to come and collect them. You know, there is not any possibility at that stage in time, after losing them first 2 games. Maybe some of us were worried, but some of us could see the bigger picture. You know, these things do take time, and credit to the Dutch ball wizard.
I'm just scrolling through Twitter now, just kind of drinking it all in, and this is things which people won't even think about. Erik ten Hag brought the whole staff out to pose and celebrate with the Carabao Cup.
See, this is the things that we've not had as a football club. You know, under Sir Alex Ferguson, it was very close-knit. You know, they'll bring the tea lady, whoever, the guy that washes the kits. You know, it was a proper family thing. And I think the mismanagement of Manchester United, we kind of lost that buzz over the years. And you touched on a great point there earlier, saying about the players. I've touched on that so many times. You know, when you stood wherever you are in the ground, Stretford End, you've got Lisandro Martinez coming off, beating his chest. You're invested in these players now, and you like, I've just spent whatever 40, 50 quid to come and watch this today. I'm getting value for money. You're putting a shift in. I'm proud of you. And that's where we're at the minute with Manchester United. I think you can relate to it, you buy into it, and you look at it and go, everyone is putting in a shift. You know, there's no toxicity. Yes. Is that the word?
Go on,
yeah. Get the badge in again.
Get the badge in.
And, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's over and out. Thank you.
I mean, that's where we're going to wrap it up. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable show. Loved every single minute. Obviously, if we do manage to win another cup, I will come. You know what? I'll buy another suit for it. Who cares? And obviously, as I said, if we somehow do. What did I say?
You mean you're going to be bowl at the end of the season?
Did I say a treble or did I say quad?
No, it was treble. It was treble.
Shit.
You're going to be bowl at the end of the season, Charlie.
Okay, well,
winning a lot.
Yeah, we'll see. If it happens, then, you know, yeah, it happens. You know,
we need to calm down. We're getting
it. Yeah, let's not calm down. No.
You're trying to put
get the badge in again. Get the badge in again.
You're trying to put Rashford down. Now you're telling us to calm down. Don't calm down. We're the only team that's won a trophy this season, man.
Brilliant, guys. Loved every single minute of it. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Cheers for everyone leaving a like on your way out as well. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. We have just, or the other day, we hit 1.6 million subscribers. Thank you very much. And obviously, no negativity, but we still want to push the message of Glazers out. Obviously, that there's loads of people in the chat, Glazers out. There was
Shout out Maguire as well.
There was a huge banner, actually. I can't find it now, but there was a huge banner just in front of where the Glazers were stood or sat that had Glazers out. I know the officials at Wembley were trying to confiscate Glazers out banners as well, but one's obviously managed to sneak its way in. But yeah, brilliant. Loved it. Cheers, guys. Thank you for joining me. Leave a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Champions!